What a day we've got of politics. Now, earlier on today, the Conservative leader hit out at the Prime Minister and the Labour government over their growing list of U-turns.
The winter fuel allowance, U-turn. Waspy women, U-turn. The two-child benefit cap, U-turn. Grooming gangs inquiry, U-turn. The family farms tax, U-turn. Digital ID, U-turn. Jury trials, U-turn. We hope so. We hope so. I think that's going to be the next one, Mr. Speaker. Week after week, these poor people sitting behind him have to defend the indefensible, only for him to U-turn a few days later.
Actually, 13 U-turns from the Labour government. There was only 7 that Kemi Badenoch read out. And it's worth pointing out that Boris Johnson's government had a dirty dozen of their own U-turns. I digress. Earlier on today, the Prime Minister hit back at the Tory leader over her party's record in government.
Don't get me started on 5 Prime Ministers, 6 Chancellors, 8 Home Secretaries, 16 Housing Ministers. They had more positions in 14 years than the Kama Sutra. No wonder they're knackered and they left the country screwed.
Well, I'm joined in the studio by GBNews political editor Chris Hope, GBNews senior political commentator Nigel Nelson, and also the Reform UK MP for Ashfield, and of course their chief whip, Lee Anderson. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. Lee Anderson, let's start with you. You're wincing there at Sir Keir Starmer's Kama Sutra reference. That's a thought none of us want to go anywhere near. But on this point of U-turns, 13 and counting for the man they're now calling Captain U-turn, one of his own government ministers has leaked. They only think he's got a 50% chance of surviving the year.
Yeah, I mean, I was there today, Martin. I heard what Kemi had to say. She made some reasonable points in PMQs today. But just cast your mind back a few years ago, I was sat on the government benches behind Boris Johnson. He made about, I think it was 12 U-turns. And it got to the stage where we were being marched out each morning to promote some of these policies. And then, you know, a few days later or a week later, they backtracked and cancelled and made us look fools a lot of the time. It got to a situation where there was asking MPs and ministers, junior ministers, to go out, and they was very reluctant to go out and, you know, in front of the media and promote a policy, knowing full well they could change their mind in just a few days' time. So, yeah, it's a bit rich, I think, coming from Kemi. She did well today, I think, but it's a bit rich, you know. Both governments over the past 5 or 6 years have done this, and it's not fair on the backbenchers, and it's not fair on the public out there.
So you're guaranteeing no U-turns in a Reform UK government. Is that realistic? Things change all the time. The facts change. They change policy.
Yeah. It's nice to see some noises coming out of North Korea there, Martin, in the corner. But, you know, what we will do, Chopper, as a sensible party, we will listen to our backbenchers and we'll listen to the public. We're not preach to them.
Lee Anderson, you made a point on social media earlier on about the obsession that the Prime Minister seems to have with Reform UK. In fact, you've made an edited highlights clip of Sir Keir Starmer at PMQs today. Let's take a wee listen.
Reform, 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 reform. The member of Clacton. Reform, 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 reform.
I think it's fair to say they've got something of an obsession.
Yeah, I think Reform UK are living rent-free inside the Prime Minister's head. We know that. I mean, to be honest with you, Martin, I don't know why he does it, because it gives us an even bigger platform. I was always taught early on in politics, don't mention your opposition, just crack on with your own job. What he's doing is giving us a free advert. And it proves to the public that Reform UK, even though we've only got 5 MPs, we are the official opposition in the House of Commons.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're not, because obviously...
No, we are, Nigel.
Well, you can't describe yourself as the official opposition, but I do accept that you are way ahead of the polls, and as far as Labour are concerned, you are the second main party in the country. And as you can see by the way Keir Starmer behaves, you're the party to defeat.
But why does he do it, Nigel? I don't understand why he does this.
Because you're the biggest threat to him. I mean, the whole question comes down to whether or not you peaked last year, 10 points ahead in the polls fairly consistently, and whether that remains as it stands, in which case you'll form the next government, or whether it'll start to creep down this year. Poll yesterday...
It's not smart politics, though, Nigel, because a lot of Reform voters are former Labour voters, and basically when he's having a go at us and calling us, racist, and some of the MPs have called us Nazis and stuff like that, all he's doing is insulting them lifetime Labour voters who voted Reform for the very first time at the last election and then at the local elections.
Every time you're online, your money and your identity are at risk. Scams now make up nearly 40% of all crime in the UK. That's thousands of attacks every single day. In Britain, someone has their identity stolen every 2 minutes, leaving victims with wrecked finances and years of stress. The threat is real, and you could be next. ExpressVPN is your shield against criminals. It locks down your devices, hiding your personal information and financial details from hackers, scammers, and anyone else looking to exploit you. So whether you're checking your bank, shopping, or just browsing, ExpressVPN makes you invisible to prying eyes trying to steal your money and your identity. ExpressVPN shields your data with military-grade AES 256 encryption. That's the same standard trusted by the US government to guard classified information. This is the highest level of online security you can get. So don't wait for disaster. Secure up to 14 devices at once and get powerful password protection. Real support is available 24/7 because cybercrime never sleeps. Click the link in this video's description or scan the QR code to get up to 75% off ExpressVPN plus 4 months extra for free. Every moment you hesitate is another moment you're exposed. Protect your money and protect your identity. Get ExpressVPN right now.
He's got a point though, hasn't he? He said you've got the second Boris wave of people joining Reform UK. Half a dozen former Boris supporters now in your team who were former Tory MPs. You're a laundry service for disgraced politicians. They are disgraced. You've got a guy, of course that was just different, but you've got Nathan Gill, who's now in prison. You've got Nadeem Zahawi, an issue with tax affairs. I mean, he's making fair political attacks.
Well, let's make some fair points then, Chopper. He talks about Nathan Gill and he's rightly in prison. We have a former Deputy Prime Minister that had to resign over tax dodging. We had a corruption minister who had to resign over corruption. And then we had a homeless minister who had to resign for making people homeless. So it's a bit rich, isn't it?
But why are you so thin-skinned?
I am not thin-skinned at all.
You're the Nottinghamshire Rottweiler.
I am not thin-skinned at all.
Look, it is like a Victorian
it's a Punch and Judy show in there, but the real test will come at the ballot box, and we'll be at the ballot box in May this year. That's if some of these spineless councils let the elections go ahead.
Let's get on to that story now, because the deadline we were led to believe is midnight tonight. It seems like it could be midnight tomorrow night. No one seems to know what's it from their elbow. I digress. The elections could be cancelled in up to 22 areas controlled by the Labour Party, 3, we believe, by the Conservative Party, and 1 by the Lib Dems. Fair play to the Lib Dems, they want these elections to go ahead. We had electoral calculus on the show, diving into the numbers earlier on, and when it looks like that 8 overall council controls will be denied Reform UK by the cancellation of these elections, costing the party up to 400 seats. They're now calling it DD Day, the denial of democracy day. What's your take on this?
So it's like a DD Day, is that what you're saying, Martin? Well, I'll tell you what, it's political cowardice of the highest level. Look, they know we're going to sweep the board if all the council elections go ahead. I think there's 63 areas up for grabs. Probably about a third of those will get cancelled by these cowardly councils. But you know what, mate? They spent the last 14 or 15 months really having a pop at reform-led councils across the country, the 10 that we actually control. And they're that confident in their berating and their criticism of reform-led councils. They're sneakily trying to cancel future elections. And you know what? We'd win those, mate. Like you just said in the stats there, we'd win those seats.
It's about saving money here.
Nonsense, Chopper.
Well, let's look at what they're doing rather than attacking me for saying it. They are literally trying to say we've got 2 councils, putting 1 council together. It's taking longer than we expected. Why waste money on elections now and have them again next year?
It's absolute nonsense. People deserve to, when they go to the ballot box at a council election, Chopper, I've been a council on 2 authorities, they put the cross at the side of that candidate and that person should be there for 4 years and no more. It's as simple as that.
But the whole thing is that, I mean...
I thought he'd chip in. Oh, dear me.
Chopper's absolutely right. That there's no point electing somebody who's going to disappear next year. So when you hold your elections in May May 27, that will set up your shadow authorities for unitaries in May 28. Leave it till then rather than put people in now, just for 12 months.
When you start a sentence with "chopper is right," I know you're on the wrong track. let me just repeat what I said. People go to the ballot box to put a cross on that candidate to last for 4 years, no more.
It's also worth pointing out, in terms of who's cancelling and where, the Labour Party are cancelling the huge majority of these elections. The Liberal Democrats want them to go ahead, and props to them for doing so. The Green Party want elections to go ahead in the vast majority of areas, apart from 3 that are on the question mark list. The Conservatives want elections to go ahead. It does seem to be, gentlemen, that the Labour Party have a unique appetite to cancel in their areas.
Yeah, they just want a free ride for another year. That's all they want, Martin. Another year of collecting their councillors' allowances and their special responsibility allowances. It's fraudulent for me. The British public in these areas deserve a vote to boot some of these councillors out.
Zia Youssef told Martin on GB News a few weeks ago that you might try and take legal action against the government in a form of a judicial review. You've got £9 million in your back pocket from that donor, Christopher Harporn. More coming in, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Are we about to see
I don't know
versus HM government over
I don't know what will happen, but it comes to something in a country like ours where we've got one of the oldest democracies in the world, where a political party may have to take the government or local authorities to court to have an election held. It's off the scale.
Before you go, Lee Anderson, I have to ask you about the West Midlands Police Chief, Craig Guilford, hanging by a thread. And we learned on the show about an hour ago, incredibly, people thought we might not last the day. The Labour Police and Crime Commissioner for the West Midlands, Simon Foster, saying they'll defer this situation to a meeting on Tuesday, the 27th of January. That's 2 weeks away.
Well, again, from the Labour Party, Martin, that's weak and spineless leadership. He should be sacking Craig Guilford. I know Craig. He used to be my chief constable in Nottinghamshire. I thought he was an OK guy, but he has got to go. He needs sacking. He should be sacked this week.
Do you think it's fair play that Shabana Mahmood today was blaming the Conservatives, saying in 2011 the Conservatives removed the power of Home Secretaries to give the boot to police chiefs, or might a more robust position be, do you know what? No, bleep all this, we're going to take action, we're going to get this guy and we're going to put his head on a block today and get rid of him.
Well, she did say, to be fair to her, that he should go, but she was right in that it's a job now of the Police and Crime Commissioner to sack Chief Constables. It's as simple as that. He needs to go, Martin. He needs to show a bit of... he needs to apologise wholeheartedly, hold his hand up and walk away.
OK, thank you very much, Lee Anderson. Always a pleasure to have your company in the studio. And thanks again to Nigel Nelson, you're here till 6. And Chris Hope, long day for you, been a legend as ever. Thank you, gentlemen, indeed.